Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Nina Lewis from Evolve with Horse Coaching, and today I wanted to discuss with you about setting up some show jumping training using three jumps and setting them up with a bit of a related line and the option of a straight related line and also on a bend. So here we are. I have with me a little bit of a track I've drawn with three jumps. So with this, you can see I've got it. So again, we've got our 60 by 30 meter arena. I've set, kind of towards this, like basically even similar distance off the wall. We have got an oxer here defined by two poles. That's how we can draw them, and you might see them on plans if you go out to events and things. Um, but if you've only got the equipment and you want to put three fences up and you only can have a vertical, that's fine. Um, you got to adapt all this to what you've got available, and and if you need some guidance on how to set up an oxer or a vertical, um, I have two other YouTubes on my channel that go through how to correctly set up an oxer, how to correctly set up a vertical, or if you're even putting in some dazzle boards as well. So how to make sure they're set up with the um, keyhole cups as well. Um, so so here, this you can either do it. You don't have to have this one here that's a related, writing it as a related line to this jump. You can actually just do it independently. So, we can always just jump this like that, and then you can come around here and do these two. But you're going to stay to the center, unlike what I just did. Or you can do it the other way. We can go around like this, and key points to remember when you are jumping. We want to make sure we're coming through the turn nice and straight, that you've got a straight line. You can kind of see the line for the both jumps, not just focusing here. We want to focus beyond the jump. And we want to stay straight also after the jump. We want to focus about where we're going and landing and afterwards. I get a lot of riders that focus before the jump all the time and don't start thinking about afterwards till they've landed and the horse has done one or two strides, and then they start thinking about it. So you really want to be thinking about it even before, like, as you're coming down the line, you're thinking, okay, where am I going to go after the jump? And look for your line onto your next fence. Yeah. So that's a really important part. Um, and we train at home to practice that, not just to do the jump. And, it's us starting to train and learn how to ride the line. So we keep the canter, come through the turn, we're riding that straight line. And then if you're going to practice and come over another jump, there we are. Um, Once you feel that you're pretty competent and capable with that, you can keep the balance, you're looking ahead, you feel organized. Um, your horse is keeping a good, nice, consistent canter and it feels balanced through the turns. You're not cutting the corners when you land, you're not kind of losing the line here and it's getting all wobbly. Staying nice and balanced, like we kind of outlined. Then you can add the other dimension to that, and you can come over this one, go center to center. And we call that doing the related line on the bend. So this one, the first one is about 4 strides, and this second one is 5 strides. Yeah. So you can set that up. If you're trying to set that up at home and you've got a measuring tape, like we're talking about either, like 100-meter measuring tape, if you're going to measure out this kind of 100 feet, sorry, measuring tape, then yeah, you want at least at least over 30 meters. Um, measuring tape, if you're looking at meters, because this one here is about 18.3 from jump to jump, and this one's about 22 on the bend. If you're doing a bend on the bend, obviously it's hard to use a tape measure. So this is where you can use a measuring wheel. And so then if you want, if you're just kind of doing this for some uh, measuring out at home, you can only afford one thing. Maybe you you can uh, use a measuring wheel, yeah, and get the measuring wheel because you can measure it out there and measure on the bend as well. But if you are going to ride on the bend in this scenario, you're going to come around here and do it this way, where you want to ride this center to center, and then you want to come round and then do the vertical down that line like that. That's fine, but make sure when you're coming through the turn initially that you are, sorry, there we are, um, that you are, when you're coming through the turn, that you're looking in the direction that you're going to go over here. You're looking this way. Otherwise, your horse is going to assume it's going to go down that way. So be really conscious about it, especially if you've ridden that line a few times. The horse is going to lock on a little bit and want to go down there. So you've got to really, before, you've got to be looking, this is where we're going to go. So the horse gets an idea of where you're going after landing. Okay. Um, so that's why initially, if you're not, just getting your confidence at home, I would do this way, yeah, do it that way. And then when you feel, your horse is listening and you're feeling more confident, then you can either have a go at doing this line like that, yeah, like that. One thing what we don't do is we're not going to come around here, especially here. We've got literally probably what, from here to here is looking at about 15 meters, yeah. So that's not much room at all, yeah. So we're not going to come around here for training and do this, right? Um, the reason, if we're going to do this line on the bend, we come on the opposite rein, so then we can actually keep the horse straighter on landing. We can keep the horse straighter because we're coming on the opposite rein and then straight and straight. If you did have even a lot of room and you're coming around and you're doing it off this rain, what happens, you're more likely to bow out and that can change the distance. Okay. So this is why these ones are good to practice coming off the opposite rein when you're doing those bend lines so you get a much straighter approach. And I'm using my finger obviously to try and do that. So drawing. So that's yeah. So that wasn't very center for my drawing, but you can write it a lot better. Now, and so this is really good with practicing writing your lines. You can even, and if you want to practice just doing oxa by itself, you can do it like that. Like you can add because there's plenty of room, but you want to just make sure you're getting a good turn through here so that you've got a good approach. Your horse can sight the fence properly, and you've got enough canter through the turn to really ride that line. So um, and the horse can get over. Now I'd always start lower, start low. You can build it up as you get more confident and the canter's more established, and you're feeling good. But don't just keep hiking the fences up. That's not how. That's not a good practice. You want to practice some really good riding quality, um, and then take it out to a competition. Be able to do that. What you're training at home, being able to train that out in different places as well. Okay. Uh, and feel, yep, it's becoming too easy, and then you can look at going to the next level. Okay. Um, anyway, have some fun with that, and I'll see you next time.